In the past, yes. But what we've done on my last trip there, which was in July, we went around and we had meetings with police and NGOs and government organisations and all the rest of it, and we've put in process the setting up of a Thai foundation, and that should be ready by March. Once that happens, because they know what our foundation is, our foundation's aims are, then all we have to do is say, right, here we are. Here's our credentials. We're with our organisation, which has a different name in Thailand, and that gives us protection from being arrested for the work we do.
The children you rescue, what conditions are they living in? Are they receiving enough food? Are they?
It varies. They're often malnourished. We've just made an arrangement with people at Manatech are going to give us a bunch of their product that provides a lot of vitamins and minerals for them. One girl I took out, she had like a skin condition that was driving her crazy, and so I took her to the hospital, and all that required was a treatment with a cream, and she was malnourished, and they gave her a regimen of vitamins and minerals, and she's fine now.
On the conversation now, my guest is, well, I can't use his real name. I'm calling him John Curtis this morning, and he's also known as the Greyman because he's involved in covert operations in Southeast Asia to rescue children from child prostitution. And he's set up a special organisation for the purpose called the Greyman. How many people are part of the organisation now, John?
Well, we've got probably about 30 people who are fairly active in Australia. We have about 10 on the ground in Thailand. But we have a lot of other people who are supporters that don't get actively involved or aren't, on a day-to-day basis with us.
What kind of people? They're not all special forces, I imagine.
No. Actually, a number of people came out of the Rotary organisation. I gave some talks to Rotary, and our secretary came from a Rotary club because he was impressed with what we do, and he's been such an asset. Russell, he's our secretary. Another guy, also a Rotary member, is our chief liaison officer now, and he's been brilliant. We've got police or ex-police, ex-special forces people, obviously. We've got, occupational therapists and doctors and secretaries, and it appeals to lots of people. Journalists, people that just this sparks their interest, and they say, "I want to help."
You say you've been able to rescue dozens of kids. Mm-hmm. Which is some of those kids that really stick out in your mind that that really made an impression on you, John?
Probably the ones that the ones that are smart. That you can see that given the right potential or given the right circumstances, that their potential could be fully utilised, and instead of being in a brothel, they could be teachers, they could be doctors, they could be lawyers, they could be anything, but because of the poverty, they don't get that chance. And, no child should be in a brothel. I mean, everyone could agree with that, I think. And I guess we're giving them an opportunity to take that leap.
Are many infected with HIV?
Well, we don't. I've only ever tested one for HIV. Some of them will be. It's pretty common. One of the reasons that I have mixed feelings about this. I would rather test them all, but other people have said to us, well, if you test them and they prove positive, then it's going to have repercussions in terms of how people treat them. So some things are probably better left undone.
The hardest thing, for us, many Australians and myself to come to terms with when you hear these stories about kids who are beaten before they even start, kids who have been sold out for whatever reason, who may or may not have been infected with HIV. It's such a hard thing to accept, to know about. Does it trouble you? Is this what drives you, John?
I know it probably sounds callous, but I try to retain a certain amount of dissociation from it, because I think if I didn't, I would be.
You'd be upset all the time, probably.
Yeah.
And how about your daughter? Does your daughter understand now that she's 8, John? Does she know what she's? Does she understand what she can't probably understand what you do? I suppose.
Well, she's pretty bright. She does. She was the thing that was holding me back from setting up the organisation, basically, because I didn't want to actually leave her again, because I'd spent 3 months away from her the first time. And I said to her, I sat her down one day and I explained the situation over there in Thailand, and she was just, shocked by it. And I said to her, "Now look, honey, I'm not going to go back there. I want to watch you grow up, but when you're grown up, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do what I can." I said, "Or I can go now and your daddy will be away for some of the time, and I won't always be with you." And, but it's something that I think is important. And so I left it with her. She thought about it for a minute and she said, "Dad, I will miss you."
And as you have more success, and if you are successful in driving child prostitution out of northern Thailand in particular, will sex tourists take their money elsewhere? Is there a need for a similar organisation for Africa?
Well, yes, that's true. But what I should point out is that, we talked about pedophiles and that, but really the problem with children in Thailand is mostly homegrown. About 75% of the market is from Thai men, and one of the reasons is that the children are perceived to be less likely to have AIDS because they're young. And that's a whole viewpoint we're going to have to try and change, because the pedophiles make up only about 25%, foreign pedophiles, so they're not really the major problem. But we do target them as well.
John, it's amazing work you do. It's been just great speaking with you on the Conversation Hour today. Your organisation's website is thegreyman.org.
Yep, www.thegreyman.org, spelt Grey.
John Curtis, it's just been fantastic having you on the Conversation Hour today. It's been so enlightening, and it's